YouTube? Today I'm going to show you guys how to make your own 3D targets. This one's a torso. I use it a lot for pistol and rifle work. I've had it for several years. It holds up pretty well. I like it because you can throw the t-shirt on it. You get a little bit more dynamic style of shooting. You can see this one's been shot a lot. Starting to get a little walled out right there. That's okay. We can always repair it as we need to. But I'll show you guys how to get after it today. What you will need is a couple torso mannequins. All right, these are t-shirt mannequins. You see them like in sporting goods stores. These are about $7 a piece. I've got 2 of them. This one I've already made. See, I cut a hole out of the bottom. I'll show you what we do with that here in just a minute. But you'll need these torsos. Those are about $7 a piece. You'll need 2 cans of spray foam per target. And optional is a can of Flex Seal. I like to finish them out with Flex Seal. I find it helps the material hold together as you start shooting. It holds together better. And then I will take one of these sign sticks and add it in with the target. It helps with being able to pull the target out of the form, and it helps with being able to stick it. But you can do it a couple different ways. It all just depends on how your shooting setup is. This one I've pushed baling wire through and 550 cord so I can hang it on a moving target hanger. But it really depends on what your setup as to how you want to do them. So we'll get started and I'll show you guys how we're going to do it. So we have our torso. I've got the cutout, and what that allows me to do is take my sign stick here and push it in there. This just allows you to stick them in the ground. You can stick them to, I like to staple them to pallets or stick them down in old drum barrels and everything, but you can go ahead and cut this out. You don't have to, but I recommend it. It makes it a lot easier pulling the target out of the form once it's dried. So this one's been used before. I'm just going to kind of wipe it down, get some of the crud out of it, some of the dust. Dump that out. Okay, now that that's done, I'm going to take just a little bit of cooking oil. I like to just get a light coating around it. It just makes the target lift out easier. It does take it a little bit longer to dry because it's wet down on the bottom of it. So you will want to kind of dry it out, but I'm just going to spray it down real quick. Nothing too crazy. Wipe it in, spread it out. Just so it's enough to keep from sticking. Okay. I'm going to stick our signpost down in there. You can tape it or screw it in if it's not working for you. It's not wanting to hold. Like I said, it's not crucial to the operation. It just makes everything easier. Couple of cans of spray foam. These are about $2.50, $3 a piece. I get the cheap stuff. There's no reason for to get the expensive. This whole thing, honestly, usually runs you about $15 to make. When you look at the ballistics dummies online, and this is not a self-healing, but when you look at ballistics dummies, they're way more expensive than that. I just like it because it gives you a more dynamic shoot. You can shoot from the sides a little bit easier. I just like it better than paper. So, once you've got that ready to go, we're just going to take and prep our spray foam and start filling. You want to start at the middle and let it kind of expand its way out, because the middle is going to be taking most of your shots if you're a decent shooter. Alright, that one's about done. Now we're going to take the other one, do it. I don't know if you can see, most of what I've got there is in the torso. So I'm going to start kind of in the arms and head. And that form's already about half full, or half empty, depending on your perspective on life. Get that set back up. Turn right there. So now I'm going to take it and fill it all the way up. If you wanted to, you could put some kind of board or something across the back to keep it from expanding, or to keep it from to make it expand more solid in there. I've tried that in the past, and it was more trouble than it was worth. I find this way, when it expands out, it actually kind of curves and gives the target more depth. So I actually prefer it without a form on the back. But dealer's choice. You do it however you want to. Alright, there you have it. We've got 2 cans of spray foam filled in there. You can see there's probably about an inch all the way around, that it's filled up to. I just sat there. There's not really any method to it. You just want to see any of the low spots or any of the weak spots. You just want to kind of fill it up so it's pretty even across the top. Like I said, once this expands, it'll probably be up out of the form a little bit. That's okay. Just a little more volume. Rounds those t-shirts out a little bit more. So we're going to leave this. We're going to let it dry. Thing to make sure to remember is that part on front is basically sealed, so it's going to take longer for it to cure than the backside. So you can come back in and check it, but just because the backside's ready doesn't mean so. Anytime that I think that it's done or the backside's ready, I always get impatient. I always try and wait a little bit longer. This one I'm going to leave for a couple days just because that's the time that I've got. So I'm going to leave it, make sure it's really good and cured, and then once this dries out, we'll come pull it back out of the form. So as you can see, the foam is fully expanded. It's good and solid. I've let this form sit for about a week just because that was the amount of time I had before I was able to get back to it. So what we're going to do is I'm going to start pulling these sides away and just separating everything out, and then hopefully I'll just be able to pull the form back out of it. All I'm going to do is I'm going to start kind of peeling around this edge and see if I can separate it, and if not, I'll take just a slight blade just to kind of push around to release it. So let's get started. So as I've pushed around, it's started to kind of come up. I don't know if you can see on this side. It's starting to pull out. So I'm just going to keep working it a piece at a time until I can get the whole thing to pop out of the form. Alright. Okay, this should be a little better angle. So here's the form. Yeah, here's the form. This part came out good. This part didn't dry all the way. It's still got some kind of juiciness there. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to leave this part up exposed to the air for a little while, because you see it's been trapped down in there, which I'm not super concerned with that. I don't need the guy to have a six-pack. I just need it to form out a t-shirt for a target. So I'm going to leave this part open to the air, let it finish curing and drying, and then I'll get to flex sealing it. You can see that this part that was wet before has finally dried out. Now that it's all dry, we're going to flex seal it. You don't have to flex seal it. At this stage, it's ready to go. It's pretty good and solid, but I found out that it holds up a lot better after shooting it with the flex seal. It keeps all the pieces and everything from flaking apart. So I'm going to get it strung up real quick. We're going to flex seal it, and then we're going to leave that to dry. Just going to take a piece of wire, punch it through right here. Now, we're just going to flex seal it. Okay, so the flex seal's all dry, and as you can see, it's made kind of a hard shell on it. That just allows the foam to hold together a little bit better whenever we're shooting it. So I may need to touch it up a little bit, but I think it's ready to take out to the range and get tested. Let's go. Alright, so we're out here on the range. I've got the target set up, and I just keep old t-shirts to be able to throw on there. It makes it a little bit more realistic, and the thing that I like about these 3D targets is it makes it a lot more dynamic. So if you're shooting just a paper target, it's just flat, you can't really get the shot from the side. So if you're moving and shooting, this allows you to engage the target from multiple angles. That's what I love about the 3D. So I'm going to back up, set the camera up, we're going to put some rounds into it, and then we'll check it out. Let's start with the AR.
going to try the 9. Okay, so we fired 5 shots with the rifle, 5 shots with the pistol. You can see the impacts on there. Let's see where we hit with the target, or what the target looks like. So you can see there's the entrance wounds. Doesn't make that much difference. There's the exit. A little bit of foam coming out of the back, but not too bad. All right, so there you have it. 3D dummy target, spray foam, and Flex Seal. Man, these things are a blast. You see how it did with the rifle, see how it did with the pistol, and in a pinch, it even makes a pretty decent knife dummy. So, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. If you guys have any questions, hit me up in the comments, and I get more videos coming your way.